Hi, I'm Ashlee, and today we're making this amazingly decadent and delicious peanut butter cookie s'more cake. Layers of crunchy peanut butter cookies with homemade marshmallow fluff, delicious chocolate ganache. Dang, you guys, this is good. Are you guys as obsessed with s'mores as I am? Leave me a comment down below and let me know, is your favorite way to eat a s'more the classic over the campfire or one of these fun twisted desserts? I have a lot more s'more recipes down below in the description box. Personally, I feel like there's room for both of them. I would not go camping without s'mores because that's pretty much my reward for going camping. And I love these at-home fun dessert creations as well. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything, and let's get started. The first thing we need to do is get started on the cookie dough. So we're gonna take some softened butter and cream it. Then we're gonna add the sugars, both brown and white, and cream it some more. Then we're gonna add the eggs one at a time while it's mixing on low. Now add the peanut butter, and then finish with the vanilla. I'm gonna add half the flour and the baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and mix that in. We add the rest of the flour. You end up with this really thick, beautiful dough, and we're ready to move on. So take your pans, spray the outside edge with baking spray, and then put in a parchment circle along the bottom. And now go ahead and flatten the dough. Now, once you've patted these into the pans, they won't be very thick. This is about 1/3 of an inch or less. And now we want to cook them low and slow. So 325 or lower if your oven tends to cook hot. If you have hot spots, don't forget to move these 3 big pans around a little bit. I check them after 16 minutes. I tend to cook mine for about 19. You want the edges to be a nice golden brown and just barely look like they're gonna start to pull away from the edges, but not quite. Better to be slightly undercooked than overcooked for cookies, in my opinion. But if you like your cookies more cooked, then of course go ahead and cook them a little bit longer. Just be careful not to burn the edges while you're trying to cook the center. Now, ganache is super simple. It is 2 ingredients, cream and chocolate. That's it. And the ratio is 2 parts chocolate to 1 part cream. Bring the whipping cream up to a simmer and pour it over your chocolate. Let this sit for 5 minutes. Then stir the ganache until the chocolate and cream are fully incorporated and it's nice and smooth. To make this version of marshmallow cream, we're going to take the egg whites and put them in a mixer. Add some cream of tartar. Now, cream of tartar helps when you're beating egg whites. And then finally, we have some sugar. Now we're gonna start beating these, and once it gets white and fluffy and starts to get foamy and creamy, we're gonna carefully add the granulated sugar a little bit at a time. And you wanna keep beating that until you get soft peaks. Now, while we're whipping those egg whites into soft peaks, we're gonna make the sugar syrup. So I have some water and some sugar and some corn syrup. Now we wanna bring the sugar mixture just past the softball stage. Now, if you're living at sea level, the softball stage is 240. It even says softball right there on your candy thermometer. So we're going a little bit past that to about 245. Now remember, depending on your altitude, you're going to need to adjust that temperature amount. I'm way high up in the mountains and water boils at a completely different temperature for me than it does for sea level. So make those adjustments accordingly and you'll be happy. All right, our sugar is now up to the correct temperature. It's nice and thick and ready to add to our egg whites. We're gonna turn the mixer on low and we're gonna add the sugar in a slow stream while this beats. Once the sugar is all added, then we're gonna turn it up to high, add the vanilla, and then whip it till it's the right texture. All right, check that out. How thick and luscious does that look? The first time I made this, I actually made 8-inch cookies and I made them a little bit thicker, and it was so heavy the whole thing just broke apart and collapsed. So this time I went with slightly smaller ones and did a little bit less marshmallow cream. Now it's time to put together our s'more cake. So we have our cookies, we have the ganache, dab a little bit, too much, dab a little bit of the ganache down onto the bottom of your cake pan, and that's gonna help hold our cookies in place. And then do a thin layer of the ganache. It's gonna kind of fit right into that little well that the cookies make when they kind of sink a little bit. Take your marshmallow cream and put it in a piping bag with a round or star tip, whichever you prefer. I'm gonna go around and pipe some stars around the outside edge. And then just pipe into the circle. So now we've repeated that with all of our cookies, and now we're gonna stack them. Now, you don't wanna stack this too high because the marshmallow cream eventually will, all squish out from the weight of all the cookies. Do the top one. Now on the top one, I just frosted the ganache up to the level of the cookies. So messy. So I've taken some warm ganache. And then to top it off, I'm gonna put some stars up here on the top. We're gonna torch it. And then along the sides too, where the marshmallow's sticking out. And we're done. I'm pretty much obsessed with this dessert. This is the third time I've made it this summer. In fact, I've already broken into the extra layer that we have. That peanut butter cookie is just a great base to hold that luscious chocolate ganache, and then of course that soft, ooey gooey, messy marshmallow cream just totally makes it. In fact, I think I'm just gonna make a bunch of these and call them tarts. They're so good. Thanks for watching.